6, 5, 4, 3.
Now I want all the men we can muster. Raise the tenants. Tell them what's happened. Buckley.
Yes, sir.
You take charge. Organize the men into groups and get the search started.
Yes, sir.
Well, get a move on them.
Come on now, come on. You over the squire's head. Let's get on with it. I will start with Pont Lane, down to Elmer's Meadow. Hold your hands up, lad. None of the trouble.
Shouldn't we go with them, Charles?
You're new here, Vicar. You don't understand. They wouldn't follow me. They know where that girl is as well as I do.
You know where she is.
Yes. You'll be wrong, I suppose. Thank God that I am. Vicar, will you come with me?
Of course.
Thank you. Just that I don't think I can face going there on my own.
Where?
The ruin in Duval Wood. That's where the others have been found.
Listen! Did you hear it? Sounded like voices. There. Probably just the wind.
No! It is voices! Come on!
What is it? Aldington, what is it?
Can you smell it?
Yes, there is something.
Corruption. Decay. We'll find her over there. That's where we look first. Down there. The smell. It's stronger now. What's that?
My lantern.
What?
Oh!
What?
Aldington.
What?
Over here. Bring a light quickly.
That's the noise we shall hear when he calls us. Am I right, Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Caleb!
Sir?
Be very sure that none of those wires touch a metal part of the window.
Oh, they're all clear, sir.
Connections, Thomas. You sure you got them in the right sequence?
Yes, sir, they're all linked in the order shown in your diagram. I have just 2 more fastenings to make.
Excellent. Now then, we have just less than 2 minutes before Mr. Lenham at the station calls us up. Elmsted, my dear man, I'm delighted to see you.
Thank you. It was good of you to have me met at the station.
No, not at all. Now, you must tell me about this letter of yours. I confess to being very intrigued by what it didn't say.
It concerns things about which I found it difficult to write.
Caleb, you must be careful of the stair rods. No, it mustn't touch at any point all there.
Could we talk? It is most urgent.
Now.
I would appreciate it.
40 seconds, Doctor.
Elmsted, bear with me for a few more moments and then you shall have my undivided attention. We're conducting an experiment in electric telephony. As you probably know, Manzetti and Bell have done a great deal of research into the subject. In fact, the equipment that we're using is based on their findings with 1 or 2 developments of my own.
30 seconds.
We've tried it successfully over 200 yards. Now we have wires laid for 5 miles from here right the way to my railway siding at the other end of the estate.
15 seconds.
If you have any influence with your chief executive, a little divine assistance would not come amiss.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
Come on, come on.
Shh.
Caleb, are you standing on a wire?
No, sir.
Well, we must start a complete re-examination of the equipment and the wiring immediately. I want everything checked from here right the way back to the station.
Doctor!
It's him.
Hello, Mr. Lenham!
Shh, everybody. Can you hear what he says?
What? Thank you, Mr. Lenham!
It's very bad, isn't it? Could you hear what he said?
Yes, he said his watch has stopped, and is it time to start yet?
A station master with a watch that stops. Thomas, you shall take him a fine new chronometer. Who knows? It might even alleviate the discrepancies between trains and timetables.
Congratulations.
It's a great achievement, sir.
No, I think it's very disappointing. We must look for ways of improving it. Thank you, Mr. Lenham! You think you heard me? Thank you both very much. Thank you all for your attention. Now then, Elmsted, I have a very interesting claret which I should like to discuss with you. I've only opened 2 bottles so far, but
I
it
had
seems
hoped
to
we
me...
might talk.
Is it so pressing?
I'm afraid more people will die if something is not done immediately.
Die?
In a way more frightening than you could ever imagine.
Come into the study. Thomas.
Sir?
I don't want to be disturbed.
No, of course.
Now then.
They're still talking, Thomas.
Yes.
Now, they've eaten nothing. The reverend gentleman must be telling a rare tale to keep the doctor from his foot.
He's appeared only twice to find reference books from the library. He seemed somewhat excited.
What'll it be this time, I wonder?
I don't know. But you can wager it will be something that neither science nor logic can explain. No doubt he'll inform us in his own good time.
You think he'll need me again tonight?
I shouldn't think so, Caleb. I should go to bed if I were you.
Good night, Thomas.
Good night.
Thomas!
Sir.
We shall be leaving as soon as possible. This is our destination, Boardington. Now, I want you to find the nearest railway station and make all the necessary arrangements with the line concerned.
Yes, at once.
I want the Tsar made ready to leave at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So, Caleb, you must ride to Mr. Lenham at the station at... No. No need to ride anywhere. We'll use our new toy. Shout to Lenham at the station, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Be careful of kitchen, Mr. Coburn.
Oh, yes.
Ah, Mr. Lenham.
Good morning, Mr. Lenham. How's the watch?
Very well, thank you, Sir Robert. Everything's arranged, sir. We're due to join the main line at 9 o'clock. Special routing has been arranged from there to your final destination.
Thank you, Mr. Lenham.
It's magnificent.
Isn't it splendid? It was built here for Tsar Nicholas of Russia, so I call it the Tsar. He ordered it when he was having a spot of trouble with the Decembrists. Bulletproof glass, armor-plated throughout. It's a mobile fortress, but extremely comfortable inside.
It's superb.
Indeed, so comfortable is it that from time to time I forget I'm in a railway carriage. Just the other day, I threw open the door and walked straight out without benefit of steps or platform, which accounts for my present predicament. My laboratory and sleeping quarters are there. Kitchen and staff bedrooms down there.
But if it was built for Tsar Nicholas, why was it never delivered?
Because of an error on the part of the coach builders. Unfortunately, they were too slow for His Imperial Majesty's patience. So I was able to step in and purchase it and incidentally prevent them going bankrupt. And since then, I've been able to make a few alterations. The Tsar can now be adapted to run on any gauge in Europe. Go on in. Do you like it? I gather it's given rise to certain comments from Sandringham. You got the map, Thomas?
Yes, sir, it's in my case.
Oh, good. I see they've installed Cosmo already. He always travels with us. Have you been introduced? Good afternoon, Cosmo. What a good, wise, excellent bird you are. Make yourselves comfortable, gentlemen. How's where the girl Sarah Chislett was employed? Would you indicate that?
Yes, that's here, roughly here.
Thank you.
She was seen running towards the house, skirting these woods.
Duvel Woods, yes?
Yes. Aldington had taken me to a ruined abbey in the center of the woods. There we found her.
And she was dead?
The marks on her body showed that she'd been beaten to death, savagely. I cannot conceive of any human being who could have inflicted such terrible injuries.
But forgive me, Mr. Elmsted, but surely what you describe, a beating, could be caused only by man.
Then what would you conclude, Thomas?
Well, on the facts to hand, I would say we are looking for a man, most likely insane. In a small community, he should not be impossible to find.
That is not a fair question. There are more facts.
It has happened before. People have died there before, and always in terrifying circumstances.
And always in Duvel Woods, in or near the Abbey. And I'm right, am I not, Elmsted? Men have been charged with these murders.
Oh, yes. Tried and hanged, God rest their souls. And after their deaths, their guilt brought into doubt by yet another killing.
How many have died?
Local legend has it that the deaths go back into prehistory. There are written records covering the last 200 years, and documented proof of at least 43 deaths.
What's you doing here, Starry?
Grab him, lads!
Hold him fast. He has the strength of the devil in him.
What are you doing this for? What wrong have I done you?
Don't play the innocent with us, Martin. You're going to hang for what you've done to Sarah.
Sarah? I had no hand in that.
You were lovers.
That's a lie.
Neither truth nor lies will save you now. Sarah talked about you to her friend Betts, who worked in the house. You two had been meeting for the best part of a year.
You were lovers.
All right. But it was Sarah what wanted it kept secret, not me.
You were with her that night.
Yes.
Admit it then, you killed her.
No! We were together. It was later than either of us thought. She was frightened she'd get into trouble when she got home, so she decided to take a shortcut through Duvel Woods. I tried to stop her.
You went after her.
No, I didn't.
But you do go in them woods. There's hardly a man for miles who go in those woods alone, even in daylight. But you go there. You've been seen.
I don't deny it. There's some evil power there that's not of our good Lord's making.
You were lovers and you killed her.
A power?
A feeling.
Sarah was beaten, lashed to death. A feeling can't do that. If there is some power there, then it needs muscle and sinews to do its work. Flesh and blood. Your flesh and blood, Seth Martin. That evil is inside you. It has possessed you. It killed Sarah, but through you, your hands tore the life from her body, and you're gonna pay for it. Ah! Ah! Stop him! If he stays free, he'll kill again. Get the guns. We must find him.
May I now introduce Mr. Charles Aldington, Mr. Thomas Wingham, Mr. Caleb Selly.
How do you do?
How do you do? How do you do, sir? How do you do?
Where is Sir Robert?
He's changing at the moment. Perhaps you care to go through?
Excuse me, I'll just tell him you're here.
Thank you.
Do sit down, Mr. Orlington.
Thank you.
Would you take a glass of Madeira with us?
That's kind, thank you. Elmsted has told me something of Sir Robert's activities, Mr. Wingham. I must say I count myself fortunate that he's taken an interest in this matter.
Well, you see, Mr. Orlington, he cannot resist the inexplicable. Almost any happening qualifies for his interest so long as it is out of the ordinary. He's a man of insatiable curiosity.
Well, he'll find more than enough to satisfy himself here. And you two gentlemen share his interests?
Oh, very much. As laymen.
Oh, I see. Oh, you're not scientists.
No, sir. Now, I'm his valet. Secretary, jack of all trades.
Oh. And you, sir?
I am Sir Robert's gamekeeper, sir.
Yes, sir, we are his servants.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was under the impression you were his companions, his friends.
Oh, that above all, sir.
One point, sir, if you will forgive me. He dislikes being addressed as Sir Robert. No, he prefers the title he earned. Doctor. After all, he does have the highest scientific qualifications in the country.
Another glass of Madeira, sir.
Thank you.
May I now present Mr. Charles Aldington, Doctor Sir Robert Baldick.
I'm delighted to meet you, Aldington.
Your servant, Sir Robert.
My friend's been looking after you.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
I've got a great many questions I should like to put to you.
May I say how grateful I am to you for your interest in this matter?
No, not in the very least. Aldington, I imagine that the parish records are housed in the church, am I right?
That is correct, yes.
Excellent. Now, Mr. Wingham, among many other accomplishments, is a skilled researcher. But I'm certain if you were to accompany him, your local knowledge would be invaluable.
Of course, yes. I'm afraid that most of the early records are in Latin, but I can translate a word here and there.
Oh, that's quite all right. I do have a slight knowledge of the language.
Nonsense, Thomas. You're a first-rate Latinist. Now, I suggest we all meet here later and compare our results.
Yes, may I inquire what your plans are?
Yes, of course. Caleb and I will accompany Elmsted to the Abbey.
But it'll be dark soon.
As I understand, the place we're to visit is underground, so light or dark makes no difference.
But surely you won't go back into that place?
I must. And my bishop has given me permission to conduct a ceremony of exorcism.
Frankly, I think it will be ineffective. I once witnessed an exorcism to rid a house of a poltergeist.
What is that?
A poltergeist is a noisy, unfriendly spirit. This one was given to throwing heavy objects.
And did the exorcism work?
No, it's just my point. You see, before the ceremony could take effect, one of the heavy objects, in this case, unfortunately, a full decanter of port, rendered the reverend gentleman insensible. So do, pray, be careful. Shall we start, gentlemen?
There is one further development I think I should acquaint you with.
Yeah.
The local people are convinced that a man called Seth Marden is responsible for this murder.
Now, why do they think that?
Well, they believe that he has been possessed of an evil spirit, that his mind and body is now the instrument of whatever power there is in the Abbey. The men are out hunting for him now.
The judgment of mobs is notoriously unsound. I only hope we can resolve this matter before the poor fellow is caught. Come along.
Other side, I think, sir.
What? What is it, Caleb?
No birdsong, no animal tracks, no burrows. It's been like it for the past mile.
Let's get on. No trace of the odor you spoke of, Elmsted. Just must and down.
Oh, you'll know it if it comes again. It was like a physical presence in the place.
Where was the girl's body?
There.
Caleb.
You found something?
Marks cut into the stone.
Can you understand their meaning?
Nope. They look to me like runic signs, possibly used in witchcraft. I'll make a copy of them later. I might find something similar in the reference books.
Hey, Doctor, what do you make of this?
Get a bar, Caleb. Let's have it up. Good. Let's have some more of them up.
It seems there were earlier buildings on the site of the Abbey.
Yes. The Abbey was built about 700 years ago.
Yes, well, there's a reference here, not dated, but very early to judge by the language. It was the express wish of the highest church authority that a holy place should be established on the place of sacrifice.
Sacrifice?
The ground is to be thrice sanctified, and an order of holy men is to be founded. Within its walls, a shrine must be built into which never will come night.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, simply that a candle, some form of light, should be kept burning at all times. You see, our ancestors had a great fear of the powers of darkness. Incidentally, it's interesting that the early references to the place you call Duval Woods, the D is missing. A local accent must have added the D. The actual word is Uvel.
Oval?
No, Uvel.
Does that mean anything?
Yes. It's the Middle English word for evil.
What is it?
It's a piece of skull bone, which I take to be human, with a flint embedded in it.
Can you guess at its age?
Not by the skull, no. The flint is plainly very primitive, Paleolithic. You see how it's been worked into a cutting edge? I'm afraid this poor fellow came to a violent end. Perhaps he was conducting an exorcism. We found this much too close to the surface for its age. All this has been disturbed before. We must dig deeper. Caleb, I want you to go on, but I want you to...
Something coming. Closer now. What's your name?
Gently, gently, Caleb. Come to see he's half frightened out of his wits. Don't be afraid, we shan't hurt you. You're the one they're looking for, am I right? The man the villagers are hunting.
How did you know that?
No local would come here to this place unless there was something outside that frightened him more.
They started beating through the woods. Groups of them. Oh, they'll kill me.
They'll do nothing of the kind, not so long as you're with us. Caleb, go outside and see what you can see. Besides, you couldn't have a better hiding place. They'll think twice before coming here.
I just want to rest up for an hour. I can't stop here after dark. Not when night comes.
You take a nip of this and calm yourself. Go on, go on, go on. We'll decide later what's best for you to do. In the meantime, I want you to tell me everything you know about this place. Have you been here before? Tell me about it.
Oh, thank you. That's better. Do you know this is most interesting?
What's that?
Well, there is one oddly singular thing that appears throughout all the legends. Despite all the contradictions, there is one feature that recurs.
Oh, yes? What's that?
Well, simply that the first people to settle here were led by a warrior chieftain named Boden. His name appears almost godlike in the legends.
Is that important?
Well, not in itself, but listen to this. And though his people feared Boden, they feared more to follow him, for it was his plan to enter the forbidden lands and claim them for his own. And he went to this place of dread where no man had entered before, and made it his land. And he slew many in a great sacrifice to evil gods who lived there.
Sacrifice. Now you find a reference to sacrifice earlier.
Listen to the end of it. Here. And Boden's people stayed, but the evil was never driven from the place.
Had you known Sarah for a long time?
A year or more. If I could have scraped a proper living, we would have married.
Of course, she knew the reputation this place had.
Aye.
Now, what do you think it was that made her come down here?
Perhaps the shelter from the storm. She took a shortcut through Duvel Woods to get back to the squire's house. Well, she didn't want another beating.
Beating?
The housekeeper's a bit free with a birch, but it's no more than a tap across their backsides.
And she was frightened of that?
She had a mortal dread of punishment. Her father was a pig of a man who'd take his belt to her if she so much as spoke out of turn. Never a week went by without she'd get a real thrashing for something or other.
I had a good scout round, Doctor. I followed the search parties for a while. They're keeping well clear of here.
That's excellent news, Caleb.
And it's getting dark. We'll have no trouble getting back.
Good. Now, Mr. Martin, will you go with Caleb? He'll take you to my quarters. You'll be quite safe there.
Thank you, sir.
And get some rest. I shall need help if I'm going to go on with this excavation. And none of the other local men will give me any.
I'd be glad to give you an answer.
Thank you. Off you go, you two.
Aren't you coming, Doctor?
Presently. I shall stay here until Mr. Elmsted has done what he has to do.
Right.
We could learn a great deal here about ourselves. I should like to arrange a really well-organized dig.
That would be desecration, Baldick. The dead should be left in peace.
My dear Elmsted, I've heard that argument before, but only from the living.
Yes. I would prefer to be alone for this.
If you wish.
It's just that you don't share my convictions.
And you think my doubt might weaken your action?
Perhaps. What I have to do here is to prove that my faith is greater than the evil that is in this place. That my God is stronger.
I hope you're right. I'll be outside.
Thank you, Baldick. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. God, the Son of God, who by death destroyed death and overcame him who had the power of death, beat down Satan quickly. Deliver this place from all evil spirits, all vain imaginings. Projections and phantasms, and all deceits of the evil one, and bid them harm no one, but depart. Up to the place.
Elmstead?
Help me. God help me.
What happened? What happened with your man?
It was stronger. Stronger than my faith.
He's sleeping. I've given him a draft.
Will he be all right, Doctor?
No. Sit down, Martin. Oh, he's a strong, healthy man. He's deeply shocked. He'll recover from that. I'm not so certain that he'll get over what he's found out about himself.
Lack of courage, you mean?
No. He didn't lack courage. He's been to that place before. He'd been through one terrifying experience that didn't stop him going back.
Well, what then?
He doubted himself, Thomas. He learned that his belief in his faith was not absolute, and in that moment of doubting, he was lost. He allowed himself to think that the power that exists in that place is greater than the power he believes in. I'm going to drink some brandy. Caleb, we shall need some more tools, shovels, and picks.
Right, sir.
We're going back there tonight.
Yes, Thomas. Oh, Mr. Martin, would you stay here and look after Mr. Elmstead? Try to get some rest. There'll be a great deal to do tomorrow.
When you brought Elmstead back, he was muttering about fire. What was that?
He wasn't very coherent. He said that when he was in the Abbey, the lights grew dim, there was a deafening noise, and his Bible began to burn. Then he said that the whole chamber was engulfed in flames. He could feel them and smell his own flesh burning.
Well, that's strange, because Aldington, the first time he went there with Elmstead, he said he'd seen something terrifying, but he refused to talk about it.
Of course. That's how it would work. I know what it is now, Thomas. I know what we're up against. Caleb!
Sir!
Hurry up! And fill my flask, will you?
Right, sir.
We've still got to find the reason for it, Thomas, and I think we shall find that at the Abbey. Get your things, Thomas. Caleb!
Doctor, what are we up against?
All in good time, Thomas, all in good time.
Do you know, we're no better than vandals digging like navvies. We should be taking the soil out inch by inch and sifting every ounce of it.
How deep do you want us to go, Doctor?
I don't know, Caleb. Maybe 10 million years deep. There must be something that existed here at the beginnings of time, perhaps even before man.
Before man? But surely there was nothing before man. All our teachings, all our researches have proved that.
You wait, Thomas. There are new theories coming, new ideas that will change the face of the world. Take a little rest. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Do you get any feeling about this place, Thomas?
Yes, I don't like it.
You afraid?
Yes. Yes, I am.
What of?
I don't know, simply that I feel uneasy. I don't know why.
What about you, Caleb?
It'd be all right if I could see something.
That's just it, isn't it? Not knowing is the very nature of fear. And there is fear here.
Mark you, we were preconditioned. We were told the experiences of the others. And I, for one, expected to be frightened.
Good, Thomas, good. Now you're beginning to understand what we're up against.
Am I? Wish I thought so.
Let me tell you something about fear. In one of the attics at Baldick Park is an old cupboard, not very large, hasn't been used for years. When I was a child, 5 or 6, I used to play up in those attics, very often with a cousin of mine, Francis. A wretched youth, older than me. He told me that something lived in that cupboard, a creature that drank the blood of small boys. And over the weeks he elaborated his story with lurid detail until in the end I was unable to look at that cupboard without shaking. Then he played his masterstroke.
What, he dared you to go into the cupboard?
Yes, he prodded me, goaded me, called me a coward, and eventually I went inside. Thomas, it was full of cobwebs. Then Francis slammed the door and locked it. Then I knew what terror really was, blind, screaming terror. I could feel the cobwebs all over me. I clawed at them. They were in my hair, in my eyes. Unreasoning, hysterical fear, and all this in a perfectly ordinary empty cupboard. And will you believe it, even now I avoid going up to that attic? And the very touch of cobwebs is loathsome to me. I have a desperate horror of them.
And do you believe that that is what is in this place? A memory of evil, a remembrance of fear?
Yes, an accumulation of terror that has festered in men's minds for all of time and has given this place a real power of evil. It is here, all around us.
Well, then there was something here that started that fear.
That's what I want to find out.
Well, then we better get back to our digging. Doctor, bring a light. Yeah. It's starting to move.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right. It's very dark. Can you bring a light?
Caleb, give me a hand. Right. Give me that light. All right. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right. Ooh.
This is fascinating.
Fascinating.
Can you sense it, Thomas?
Oh, yes, there's a force here. A power.
Do you believe in evil, Thomas?
Yes, I do.
This is evil at its most absolute. But we must go on. We must go deeper.
We can't go on our own, not without help.
No. Caleb shall find some long bars, and we'll go back to the Tsar and fetch the others.
cover here.
I'll get some water.
He's alive. Where's Martin?
He's not here.
They came, I couldn't. So.
Where have they taken him, Mr. Elmsted?
Farm. Something about the farm.
We must stop them, Thomas. Caleb, stay here and look after Mr. Elmsted and see that nobody else gets in.
Right, sir.
Quickly, Thomas.
Let him down! No! Let him down!
Get out of here. Get out for your lives.
You're not going to let them go. You'll turn them over to the authorities.
There'll be no more killing here, judicial or otherwise. They took a life because their minds have been infected by the same evil that killed the girl, and I suppose all the others before her. Like fear, evil is contagious. Is there any tar oil in the Tsar?
Yes.
I shall take it to the Abbey.
Why?
They're fighting a primeval force. The primitive peoples knew it, and they drove it out with fire. Have something done for that poor fellow, then follow me, Thomas.
Yes, of course.
Oh, no. No.
Let me out, please. Stop me. Let me out. Let me out.
Doctor, are you all right?
I think so. I almost failed, Thomas. I started to believe in it, and then... Cobwebs.
Cobwebs?
It doesn't matter now.
Doctor, what happened? What did you find down there?
A ghost? The spirit of something that died before yesterday began?
For myself, I shall always believe that we have witnessed the physical manifestation of a mental condition. Fear is a mental condition. And yet it has been known physically to turn men's hair white. People who sneeze at the scent of flowers will still sneeze when they're presented with a paper rose, simply because they believe in it.
But you didn't believe in it, Doctor. You were able to rationalize your fear. Poor girl Sarah Chislett's simple mind gave in to the force.
And you, Elmsted, you almost failed, but then you were taken by surprise, weren't you?
Yes. I had not consciously realized before my dread of fire.
You, Aldington, you
Yes,
interest
and of course
me.
I understand all this. But you see, my people are the simple folk that you describe. Now, how am I going to explain all this to them?
Make them understand the importance of their own imaginations, the paramount value of the ability to think. When we lose that, we lose ourselves.
We're ready to move, sir.
Very well, Caleb.
Doctor, I can never thank you enough for all you've done.
No, 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 no. It is I who thank you for a unique experience.
Mr. Wiggum.
Thank you, Lord. Mr. Olmsted.
Thank you.
Sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What's that?
I don't know, Thomas. It was in the soil at the lowest level of our excavations. So that must put its date at millions of years ago.
Man-made?
Man? Perhaps.
May I see?
It opens, Thomas. Isn't it exquisite? It's partly of a metal that I don't know and other substances I don't understand. I can't even guess at its use or how it came to be there. Something from the past or the future.